Hey everyone, Scott here, and yesterday, as I'm recording this video, I took part in the Dragon Ball Super Fest event at a local store here in Cardiff, Firestorm Games. So in this video I'm just going to talk a bit about how I got on and also show off the prizing that I got and open it in this video. So I ended up playing Agents of Destruction. And in like the week leading up to the tournament, I'd kind of been running myself ragged almost, just building all these different decks, trying to find something that I felt was like good against the meta and that I actually had everything I needed for it. I must have built about 5 or 6 different decks during the 1 week. And basically the day before the event, I decided, you know what, this is ridiculous. I built all these decks. I don't really have, like I say, the cards that I would need to play them properly. So why don't I just build something that I like and not worry about it, not try and do too well at the event. So literally the night before, I rebuilt Agents using some of the new cards. Like got this one. It was the main new card, the Baby Malefic Agent of Destruction that has offering. Also chucked in one of this championship one that comes in for free when you play this guy, unless you look at the top 7 to try and find more. So that was the main kind of update to the deck since the last time I was playing it regularly. But yeah, because I put this together the night before, I didn't really have any time to test with it, so I ended up being a bit loose and not quite remembering fully how the cards worked. And I also think I messed up by not including certain cards, like I didn't main deck any charismatic villains, even though I'm running 4 of the Vegeta Unison. I had one in the side, and I ended up siding that in a few times. Oh yeah, I was also running the Vermilion Saiyans secret rare. Before, when I was playing this deck, I like literally didn't have a secret rare in here, because I didn't have one that would actually work at that point. So in fact, I might not have had any secret rares at all. Maybe just the Goku Jr. actually, thinking about it. So yeah, didn't see this in any of my games except when I would use the extra card here. It would be one of the 2 and then it would have to go to the bottom. That was the only time I saw it. Didn't get to cast it once. Yeah, so because I didn't have a chance to test, and the fact that I wasn't taking it too seriously, I did end up playing a bit loose in especially my first 2 rounds. I should probably say how I actually did. So there only ended up being 4 rounds of Swiss, just because of the attendance and kind of the amount of time we had, because there was a few mitigating factors. First of all, it was taking place on a Sunday. It was also Mother's Day here in the UK. And the Cardiff Half Marathon was happening, and the route was literally going down the road that that Firestorm Games is on, which meant the road was closed for like multiple hours during the morning. So it meant that we had to start a lot later than we normally would have, which meant obviously less time before we had to do top cut and before the store would close. So yeah, so there only ended up being 4 rounds of Swiss. I lost my first 3. Like I said, played pretty loose. The third one was kind of close. And I won my final round, so I was 1 and 3. And out of the 48 people that were there, I finished 39th. So I was sort of towards the top of the people who were 1 and 3. I think people who were 1 and 3 went all the way up to like 33rd or 34th. Yeah, so I didn't get any additional prizing. That was only for top 32. But because there was only 48 people attending, rather than just giving the expected prize support and then having a load left over, they decided that they wanted to give it all away to the people who were there, which meant we basically got extra participation prizing. So first up, sleeves. The people who finished 32 or above had a second set of sleeves. Yeah, So those, I believe these are 60 sleeves, which is a bit annoying because that's like enough for a main deck but not a side deck, so you would need 2 packs if you wanted to use those for like tournament play. Ended up getting 5 event packs. These are all event pack 9s. I guess they decided that, because I think you're supposed to get like 1 8 and like 2 9s, they decided to just give people, for participation at least, just pack 9, which I'm sure some people would have preferred that. I personally would have liked to have some of the 8 because I was looking for more God Sealing techniques. But the people who finished like top 32, I want to say, and above, they got extra packs, event packs 8 and 9. Yeah, so those are the event packs, and then it was the, I forget which of these is which, but there's the Vault set, or the Fest set. I don't remember which this is. This is the other one, whichever one that is. This is the other one. And then there was the Unison set. And this is what you're supposed to get for participation, 2 of each, I think. Or it might just have been what. Anyway, you potentially could have got more for, like, going by the actual way the pricing was listed on the Fest page. You would get 2 of something, 2 of something else, and 1 of something, I think, just for participation, and then you would get more based on where you finished. But because there was only 48 people, rather than the full 128, they basically gave us 4 of each. So basically everyone that took part in this tournament got a playset of all these cards. So I'll go through these first. I haven't had a chance to open them, but I do want to talk a little bit about them because I think these packs are really, really good. So the Unison one in particular, I'll start with this one. I think there's literally 1 card in here that I either haven't used before in a deck or wouldn't even want to use in a deck potentially. Like, that's kind of a weird way of wording it, but like this Mechacabra, I don't have any copies of this, so now I've got a full playset, and I've wanted to use this in the past, I just never got around to buying it. But most of the other Unisons in here I've used. So Mechacabra, this Toa I've been using in Shadow Dragons. I mean, that's the main deck that it's for, so it'd be nice to have 4 foil copies of that one now. This Dark Broly, another one. I've thought about actually running this in not the Broly deck itself, but Freezer Prison from set 6, since this does stuff with red extra cards. Might not be the best Unison for that deck, but I wanted to give it a try. So this Trunks is the one that, like, I have 2 of this already. Like, I'll show you now. I got the original one here. I've also got the SPR version of this. I've just never used them. So this is probably like the Unison out of the set that I'm like least excited to get. So this Toa I've used in multiple decks in the past. I was using it in Mechacabra. I even had it in my sideboard for the Agents deck, just to, in certain matchups, bring it in for 4 and then immediately steal one of my opponent's battle cards, especially if I was against like yellow Shadow Dragons. I think it's pretty good to steal their like 9-drop, and then all the cards they start to play get their skills negated. Since that effect on the 9-drops in Shenron doesn't actually need a Shadow Dragons leader or a yellow leader or anything like that. The one issue you need to keep in mind with that is if they're running that Mechacabra, they can just steal it back again, which actually happened to me when I played in a card market webcam tournament like last year. When I was running this in Mechacabra, I was against yellow Shadow Dragons, took their dragon, and then they took it back with that Mechacabra Unison. This Grand Priest, so this is pretty new, which is interesting that there's cards in here that are this new from the latest set. In fact, there's even some cards in here that like aren't technically out yet. Not in this pack, in one of the other ones. This guy is really good actually, especially his -3. So like you play him for 3, you have God Sealing Technique up in your hand because you have a blue Unison with 3 markers on it. They try and play something, you God Sealing. They try and play something else again. You do the -3 on this, assuming its energy cost is greater than their current energy, which a lot of the stuff at this point in the game is. Yeah, so you can basically God Sealing your opponent twice in one turn. So this is one that I might try and do something with in the Angels deck if I do end up getting around to building that. Then we have this baby, which is like a really good just generic blue Unison, or even if you just have a mono blue leader, but just a +2 draw card is really good. I actually had 2 copies of this and I traded them away because I wasn't doing anything in blue at that time. So now I got a full playset back. This Piccolo Jr., I have 1 copy of this, so now I got a full playset. This is one I try to, when I'm doing red stuff, where there's not like an obvious Unison, I always include that 1 copy of this. And now I'll be able to do the full rather than supplementing it with like other Unisons. The Majin Buu, so I kind of like with the Trunks, I have the SR and the SPR, but obviously in the Agent's deck, so I had my SPR in the main deck, and I had another copy of the SR in the side deck just for certain matchups. I think I brought it in once, but there's certain matchups where that -1 might have been helpful, so yeah, so got a full playset of that now. And this Son Goku Jr. and Vegeta Jr., I've used this before. When I was testing out a build of Gogeta Zeno that used the Skullos Goku and Vegeta, I was running this Unison in there. So, again, full playset of that now. And I was saying to someone at the fest, I'm kind of glad I didn't go to any of the other ones around the UK, because now just by doing that one locally, I got a full playset of all these cards that were in there. Like obviously I would have had extras that I could have traded and sold if I'd gone to another one, but I'm not too worried about that. And obviously I would have had like more sleeves and event packs and stuff, but again, like I say, I'm not too concerned about that. It was mostly these cards anyway that I was going for to get my hands on. So we have the top, I believe this is the top of the Red Broly BR chain. I had one of these but I traded it away. There's this Frieza, I was using this in Mecha Frieza when that was not banned. So yeah, got a playset of that guy now. This Goku, I've never used this one. I think this is supposed to do with, there's that leader that awakens if you have a card with like 25k power in play or something. Or is it 20k power or more in play? Because I remember there was a lot of rulings or people asking about if you use the activate men on this to increase its power, can you then awaken with the leader? And I believe you can. I believe that's how that's intended to work. We have this Tills, who apparently is pretty good if you have a yellow leader, or is it a yellow Saiyan leader? Yeah, yellow Saiyan leader, and you have 3 or more energy. I think this was being played in Gohan and Higher Dragon. Some builds of it were running this card, since that leader was a yellow Saiyan. Just 2 energy, get a 20k double strike, and you can either draw a card or KO an opponent's back cards in rest mode. Oh wait, no, you already KO a battle card in rest mode, and you can either draw a card or KO another one. Wow. So you could KO 2 of your opponent's rest mode cards. That's pretty good. So, before when I said there's some cards in here that technically aren't released, it's this one and this next one here. These are from the upcoming expert deck, the Cell one. So I don't believe these cards are like playable at this point. Like, I don't think somebody could have included them in their deck at the fest, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe there's an exception for these two cards. Not that you would necessarily, because the leader they go with, the rebooted like Cell leader, isn't even out yet, so I don't know what other leader you would use it with. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if those cards are any good. Then we have the Gotenks from the second anniversary box, the 2020 anniversary box. There's something interesting about this card that I'll come to later. But yeah, this does get used in the Gotenks decks. Have a Majin Buu from the Majin Buu deck. One of the ones that can play a Majin token if you Spirit Boost, and then can KO a Majin token rather than having this guy be KO'd. And then we have a Vegeta Super Combo, which is interesting. This is one of those super combos from set 10 where like you're supposed to play them first and then combo with them from the battle area. I think this is the green one. I've never seen anyone really use this. I think it's like a hand destruction type effect. Yeah, if you lead as mono green when this is played, your opponent chooses one card in their hand and discards it. Yeah, and then if you lead as 4 or less, when you combo with it, you draw a card. So at the very least, it's like a normal life is 4 or less super combo, but there is that potential to play it to get the other effect first. I did use the yellow version of this guy, which I think is a Gohan in Mecha Frieza, but like I said, I've never used this one. And then we have another card from the latest set, SS2 Trunks Future on the Line. This is a pretty interesting one. Kind of reminds me of the 9 drops in Shenron we were talking about before, or I was talking about before, except instead of negating the skills on the cards that is played, it switches it to rest mode instead. Actually played against the yellow Trunks deck round 2, and this guy was, yeah, a real pain for that reason. I was getting a lot of agents out for free, and then everything he had barrier, so I can KO anything or warp anything with them, and then they would just all go into rest mode. So yeah, another card from the new set there. I'll just very quickly put this Gotenks to one side, because like I say, something I want to talk about it. I'll do it right at the end, even after we've done the event packs. Then we have this set, which, again, I can't remember if that's the... It would make sense for that to be the Fest set and this to be the Vault set, since that has like cards from the latest set, and that would be weird. I think quite weird to call that the Vault set, unless this also has cards from the latest set. I forget actually what's in here altogether. So we have a Bojack from the newer blue Bojack deck that does get used. This Bulma, very annoying card. When your Earthling's KO'd, you can play it for free from your hand and then play an Earthling 4 or less from the drop. So Ethan, who was judging at the Fest, he uses this in his Bulma deck. Set 8 Bulma, the one that blockers, so you like KO one of his battle cards to get rid of a blocker, and then he plays this from his hand and then plays back. A lot of the time it's the exact card that you just KO'd, and so that's, yeah, super annoying. Have a Prince of Destruction Vegeta. This is for the Majin Vegeta deck. I'm not 100% sure if this I don't know if I've seen this before in the Majin Vegeta builds. I'm not too familiar with that deck. Then we have Gogeta for the newer blue Gogeta stuff. From the Fusion Reborn movie. Have a Bardock. Again, those two I'm not too sure. Again, if I've ever seen anyone using them, but that might just be my local, my local scene. Nobody really played either of those decks. So here we have the Golden Frieza, Pinnacle of the Clan. I actually use 2 copies of this in my King Cold deck. So I have the pre-release one, so I'll probably swap the other one for one of these Fest ones, so that's good to have. This is another one that I think is really good to have. This is pretty good generic finisher for a lot of green decks. You play it for one as long as you have a green Unison in play, and you remove a marker from it. So and pay 1 energy. You can only do it once. Like it has limits 1, so you can only do it once a turn. And then you can remove, as an activate main, any number of markers from the Unison. It gets plus 5k for each marker removed, and as long as you remove 2 or more, it gets double strike. So, like I say, this could be a really good finisher. If they have a Unison, a green Unison that's a +2, like the Super Saiyan 3 Vegito has a +2. I think I said +3 then. Has a +2 skill on it to give all their battle cards revenge, or all their green ones at least, mono green ones maybe even. So that can build up markers pretty quickly, and then they just play this down for 1 energy, get rid of all the markers on there, and suddenly they have like a 40-50k double striker at your leader. Only main thing about it is that that's an activate main. It would be so much stronger if it was an activate battle, because obviously if this attacks after you've done it as an activate main, your opponent just negates it, and then you've lost all those markers on your Unison. But maybe it would be too strong if it was an activate battle. Gigantic Meteor. This is obviously for the newer red Broly deck. I know one person at my locals, Owen, actually. I know he watches my videos. Yeah. So he's really happy to have this for his red Broly deck. Then we have SS Kefla and Ending Evolution. This is actually from last set, I believe. Set 15 was. Yeah, I think we're on 16, next one 17. So even being the Vault set, there are some pretty new cards in here. Oh no, there is one card from the newest set in here. Yeah, the Realm of the Gods Kamehameha. So it's weird that one is kind of denoted as being a Vault set and the other's just like the Fest set. There doesn't really seem to be a rhyme or reason for it. So I'm going to put this Bojack to one side, because that is the other card we need to talk about with that Gotenks. And I'll put all these over with the rest of them. And yeah, all the other packs obviously are the same. Yeah, the same 10 cards in the other one, so I'm not going to waste your time by opening them in this video. So we got 5 event pack 9s here. There's 10 different cards. I wouldn't mind one more Cell's Kamehameha, which is in here. The Piccolo Jr. Would be okay. I suppose the Dabura might be alright, and I'm not too thrilled to get High Dragon or the Piccolo Jr. Unison. Those are the two I want to avoid. I think pretty much... Oh, Rosie. That was the other card that I would quite like to get. So we have a Supreme card to start off. Leader is black and place in the bottom free. Oh! This is the promo for Gogeta Zeno. I actually wouldn't mind to pull a few more of this. When I said before, like, I tried to build a Gogeta deck, a Gogeta Zeno deck, this was the one card that I was missing, that I kind of meant that I wasn't really able to play the deck properly, which is why I ended up doing that build with like the skillless stuff. Yeah, I would like to pull some more of this, please. A play set of that would be very nice out of these, but I don't think that's too likely. So here we have the Piccolo Jr. Okay, so the reason I don't want this is because that is literally this card here that I have a full playset of now. So yeah, that feels like a bit of a waste. I mean, it's an extra one for trading or whatever like that, but yeah, not too excited with that. So here's the Higher Dragon. So we got the other. I was saying, this looks so weird having a skillless in this event pack like style, because all the background's gone and it's just like, I don't know, it looks odd. Whoa. So these are pretty well randomized, so I doubt we'll get any doubles here. So this is the Vegito. I don't know that this was one that necessarily needed a reprint. I don't know that there's anyone dying for more copies of that guy. And okay, we got the Cells Kamehameha. So I'd say got two good pulls there. The Kai and another Cells, because this I believe now completes my playset of Cells. Earth Kamehameha. Right, so yeah, those are those 5 pulls there. And these 2 cards, right, what is interesting about these is that, so the rest of the cards in there, in these sets, like here we have Realm of the Gods, Black Kamehameha, and here I have a pre-release Black Kamehameha that I pulled last week. You can see it's literally the same artwork with just this Fest stamp on there. It was the same case with the trunks that I showed off earlier, this one. Here's the Fest artwork, and here's the original SR. In the cases where there's cards with like an SR or SPR version, they don't do the SPR art, they do the like less high rarity art. So you can see here, Fest stamp there, and it's literally the same artwork. That is not the case with these 2 cards. I actually have the original cards here. So this is the original artwork of the Bojack, and this is the new artwork of the Bojack. Like some people are saying at my locals, this one looks more obviously like a Bojack card, as opposed to the original artwork where he's just sort of in the back there and there's a big Vegeta on it. But yeah, so this is an alternate art as well as having the Fest stamp rather than like with all the other cards. And you can see it's the same here with the Gotenks. This is the original artwork from the anniversary box, and this is alternate art. So I think this might be a case similar to the unreleased Cell cards. So like these cards from the expert deck aren't out yet. I think it might be a similar case with these 2 artworks. I think these may be in an upcoming set of reprints, maybe a Mythic Booster 2. And we'll see versions of these cards with these 2 reprinted art. I think a Mythic Booster is the most likely, especially since distribution orders for the anniversary box, this year's anniversary box, have gone up, and there's not actually going to be a Vault power-up pack, as they used to be called, set of reprints in the upcoming anniversary boxes. There's going to be a revision pack, basically a revision set instead. So, oh, and there's also going to be a secret rare reprint in there. So there are still going to be reprints in there, but they're not going to be either of these cards, since neither of these have been errated and they're not secret rares. So yeah, I think this could be a case where Mythic Booster 2 is on the way, and these 2 will be in here with these as the alternate art versions. Which would be interesting for them to include them in something like this so far ahead of time. So the only other explanation I could really come up with is these were meant to be in the first Mythic Booster and they got cut for some reason. They're reusing the art here. But I think these being in Mythic Booster 2 I think is a lot more likely. So yeah, that's everything I wanted to talk about with kind of these Fest cards. That's how I got on at the Fest itself. And that's going to be it for this video. So go ahead and leave a like, that really helps me out. You can also subscribe to the channel to be notified when new videos come out. And thanks for watching.